I'm going to break down exactly how I train basketball athletes specifically to increase their performance on the court. Let's get into it. Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Chris Partner with Overtime Athletes, and for today's video, I want to actually break down some more sport-specific training for basketball athletes and how I increase their performance, right? So there's a couple things that I want you to focus on if you are a basketball athlete or basketball coach. So ultimately what we want to realize is when we're enhancing a basketball athlete's performance in the gym to be able to transfer over to the court, that last and final stage is we want to kind of mimic basically what they're doing essentially on the court. And that's really a lot of times is eliminating their leverage of what they would normally perform. And what I mean by that is if you were to perform a normal box jump, right, an athlete is typically using their arms. Now this arm is acting as a lever for the athlete to be able to produce more vertical force, horizontal force, things of that nature. Another example, if an athlete is performing or mirroring an opponent and they're on defense, a lot of times they might have their hands up as opposed to being able to use their arms as leverage to produce that lateral force. So I want to mimic that same power in the lower body. If we're going to go agility, right, I'm going to have them raise their arms in the air as if they're guarding somebody and be able to take, right, what we have enhanced with that lateral shuffle and then transfer it to eliminating those leverage or putting them in more awkward positions, right? If I want to increase their vertical force for more sport specific, I'm going to build up that vertical jump. Now that I've increased that inches, now I want to eliminate those levers of the arms and have the athlete perform more vertical jumps with maybe holding a light medicine ball. Now, one thing I want to be able to mention is it's not always about like the resistance. What happens when an athlete needs to hold a ball overhead and produce vertical force, there's a transference of energy that needs to go through with the trunk. So by training with the medicine ball both at the chest and then advancing it to overhead, we can not only mimic what they're doing, but also enhance the athlete's ability to transfer that energy and then still produce that vertical force, which takes a certain level of proprioception. So then once I do that, I can advance to more sport-specific jumps, things like drop step, things like, you know, mimicking what that athlete's going to do in the paint or being able to sidestep laterally. I'm able to kind of break down closely more of the movements that they're going to perform on the court. Again, if they're dribbling a basketball, they're not utilizing their arms when they're sprinting. If they have it overhead, they're not utilizing their arms when they're vertical jumping. And if they're performing some kind of lateral shuffle or agility in the frontal plane, typically we want to get their arms up. So again, we just want to mimic and create more of what that athlete's going to face on the court to be able to enhance that performance in a closed, predetermined setting. I hope that helps. Hey, if you're interested in a full off-season basketball program, go ahead and check out down below, and I'll holler at you guys next time.